Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the playoff podcast of the Squawking Eagles. I am joined by Miguel and Mark. How's it going, guys?
Go Birds.
Go Birds, indeed.
Go backup Birds.
The backup Birds that took down the New York Giants. What a terrible, terrible team. Giants are terrible.
Facts.
What makes you say that, Mike?
That the Eagles backups can beat their starters, their so-called quote unquote starters. I enjoyed the game. It was fun to watch.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to lose any more. They didn't want to fall more south in the draft. So,
right,
true.
But they said they wanted to set the records. They let Malik Neighbors set a record for the Giants.
Oh yeah, for all of what, 2 hours?
Well, for the Giants. It was for the Giants. Like the most receptions as a Giant rookie.
Oh, okay. Well, in the NFL, it was also a record for about 2 hours.
Right. Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. That's mine.
Yeah.
But he won't win Rookie of the Year because why would he? He only set like 8 different tight end records.
Right. Offensive Rookie of the Year, he won't be, but Jalen Daniels will probably get that.
Oh, it's 100% going Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a broadcaster once said that if it hadn't been for the Eagles' loss to Washington, it probably would have either gone to there was like 3 different people they listed, but it was like Brock Bowers, Bo Nix, and Brian Thomas Jr. And they're all 3 of them deserve it.
Yeah.
It's going to go to Jaden Daniels single-handedly because of the game against the Eagles.
Yeah. So you can blame the Eagles for that then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tanner McKee looked good. I don't want to put too much time into talking about this game. There really wasn't, anything, the implications that would affect the Eagles, and they just got players wrestling. You want to take a minute to talk about that?
Just a quick one. Just point out, I think Tanner McKee proved what I've been saying for weeks. Kenny Pickett sucks. I just want to put it out there. I feel like it was pretty obvious to me, but he knew what he was doing.
In his defense, I mean, he is 6'6" and bigger hands. So,
yeah,
it's almost like he's a prototypical quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. We should trade him to the Giants, man. The Giants can use him.
Weird. No, do not. If you give Cam the key to the Giants, I will come to Jersey and throw an ice cream cone at your door.
Come on, man. It'll be another AJ Feely. He went to the Dolphins for that one season and then went 0-6 and then he got benched and never saw starting option again.
Wow, AJ Feely reference.
I don't even understand the possibilities. Like I think Tanner McKee actually has a possibility if he were to start somewhere. I think he'd be like a star. But I mean, he can't be worse than any quarterback on the Giants. No. I think that would be a danger. I don't want that. Especially
like Malik Neighbors, he's a pretty good player.
I think if he was Miami's backup, Miami might be a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think if he was Miami's quarterback, they might be a playoff team. Sorry, Tua. I don't want to say I love Tua, but I do kind of feel bad for the guy at this point. It's one of those where it's like, man, bro, I see your talent, man. We all admit that you had a really good arm, but don't die. Okay.
Well, he's
go retire at this point. You have money. I know you want to win more, but you don't want to die.
Well, you saw the news that Tyreek Hill, he's out. He wants to be traded out of Miami. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah. He said he's done. Which he quit on his. He quit on it. I don't even know if I would pick him up as a GM because you just quit on your team.
Bro, he's Antonio Brown 2.0.
I was gonna say, did he have less touchdowns than kids this year? Is that was that a number? Like they have a fake face?
Yeah, I mean the only real highlight for him this season is getting arrested outside of the Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah, that was a pretty highlight. That was
a big highlight.
Yeah, everybody had him talking about that. So
and everyone supported him after that for about a week.
Yep. Yeah. And then he put on this team.
Yeah.
So I don't think just like Jimmy Butler too. Jimmy Butler was out of Miami too. So there's something in the water down there.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's called losing.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
thought that.
Yeah, it's happening around everywhere. I mean,
I'd package Embiid and Paul George for Jimmy Butler right now.
Yes.
I'm
Get
dead.
rid- Oh
Tired of
man.
it. I'm tired.
I ain't gonna argue.
Yeah, it's a joke at this point. Like, I don't even want to waste airtime on that
I think the
team.
Sixers are
Yeah.
too. Whole organization.
So, in all in all, happy with what we saw. You saw Sidney Brown was out there. We saw Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out there.
I knew you were gonna be hype on that, especially when
Yeah.
the tackle. I knew you were
It
going.
was great. It was
Yeah.
great to see him out there.
All the old heads loved that.
Yes.
But then when he missed the tackle, they all closed their eyes.
I barely saw that.
Yeah. Eagles Avengers assemble.
Yes. So, all right. So, Eagles are now number 2 seed playing the Green Bay Packers. Sunday afternoon at 4:30.
I can't wait to hear your boys' takes on this game. I'm so excited to hear you guys talk about this game.
Well, for a while there were talks that Jalen Hurts would not be playing because he has yet to get out of protocol. But as of this morning, he has been cleared.
That's it. He made practice.
Yeah, as of this morning, Thursday, as of this recording, he has been cleared, and it's.
Ooh.
Now you're all talking. Is there going to be rust? I'm like, he's played football his entire life. How much rust can you be on him for just missing, some 2 weeks of?
I mean, isn't that what practice is for? To get back on the same page, work on timing and shit like that. Like it's not like he missed like 14 games or anything. Yeah,
no, he didn't. Missed 2 games that really didn't bother. And then also this morning, I saw that AJ Brown. He sat out practice because he wanted to be 100%. So his knees, they say, needed some rest. Everybody's getting their rest,
particularly locally. I think we've learned from the Jason Kelsey podcast that like all the players by the end of the season don't mind an extra day. They're like, hey, the body hurts.
It was cold out there today too. They're practicing outside.
No, I don't want to do that.
They got to get ready for Sunday. Sunday's going to be cold. It's supposed to snow on Saturday, and then Sunday
could be a lot of
35. Are we supposed to get a lot of snow?
There's a potential for it, and I know that storm's coming. I'm hoping. I know the original projection was 2 feet. I don't know what it's up to now. I think it's down. Yeah.
I think they're calling it Winter Storm Blair. Is that what they're calling it? They actually gave a name.
Is this one Blair or is this one Carl?
I thought it was Blair.
I don't even have snow in my forecast.
Really? I do on mine.
That's wild.
Which is weird because I was just looking at the radar and the snow band that went from the
Buffalo,
the Great Lakes, all the way down to like Tennessee. I thought, well, Pennsylvania's in there, so
right.
According to this, now it is down to an inch.
Oh wow,
that's sad because I was looking for feet.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get feet.
That's what she said.
If she's looking for feet, she's in the wrong spot.
Yeah. So let's break this game down. Eagles are going to have a healthy team. Packers are limping into this game. Jordan Love's got a banged up elbow. They do not have Christian Watson. They do have Jalen Reed, who gave the Eagles trouble week 1 in San Paulo.
Sao Paulo.
San Paulo. So we are going to see probably a mix of Jalen Reed into that game. They also have Musgrave is coming back, so they got 2 big tight ends that the Eagles are going to have to worry about covering if they do like an 11 personnel or 12 personnel in there. Miguel, if you want to give us a little bit of thoughts on this game, where your head's at, and then we'll go to Mark, and then we'll talk about predictions after that.
Well, so shout out to a family friend, Gershon. We call him Rudolph. It's a family friend. He's a big Green Bay Packers fan. I hit him up as soon as we found out that we were playing him. Started talking our shit. So
have to.
I'm excited to play this game. We're gonna play on a real football service this time, and that first game being in Brazil was not who we became right this season.
Right.
We're a completely different team from that week one matchup, and I just can't wait to see Saquon and Jalen do their thing against this Green Bay defense. I don't see them keeping up with us at all, especially now that Watson, I think he tore his ACL last week.
I don't know if what the diagnosis was. They just said his knee. That's all I.
I thought I read something about his ACL and something about slight tear in his meniscus. So I'm not completely sure myself, but I did remember reading that.
ACL, I'm reading right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to this rematch, and I'm pumped, man. I am all the way in. I know all season I've been borderline on what this team was going to be, and yeah, the last couple of weeks have really proven to me what this Eagles team is a Super Bowl contender. So I'm all in, man. I can't wait for this game on Sunday at 4:30. That's why I wore my Eagles Sundays are for the birds.
Nice
hoodie today. You know what I mean? Because that 4:30 game is gonna be waiting all day for, but we'll get it.
Yeah, I like to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're excited for this and pumped up for this game because you're right. You have been borderline on the Eagles, especially during those in-game recordings.
Yeah, I mean, because we've been all kind of up and down, and besides the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks, we've been pretty consistent. Besides that one loss we had to Washington. Washington, yeah. So, I mean, we needed that loss, help us refocus.
Yeah.
I'm 85% like all the way in, and then there's that 15% that's like, man, this team could upset us at home, and and be worrisome. But I don't think they don't have the firepower to do significant damage to win the game. You know what I mean? They have enough to probably stay in the game with us and be consistent, but I don't think it'll be anything we can't the defense can't shut down.
Right. Yeah. I agree. This game is going to come down to defense in my mind because the Eagles are the number one. They're all Eagles offense is number one rush and last in passing.
Right.
And the Packers, I think they're second or third in rushing and 30th in passing. So both teams run the ball, and we know what happens when you run the ball, right?
You win the game.
You win the game.
Yeah.
So I think is going to be a very defensive football game.
Oh yeah. And like I said, we're going to play on a real football surface. So our defensive linemen are going to have more grip and be able to get to Jordan Love a little bit faster than that first week. Yeah. And they're going to have a more impact on the game.
It's a completely different defense too. Like that week one compared to week 18 or week 17 defense.
We didn't know who we were. They didn't know who. We didn't know what Braun was going to be. We didn't know what this linebacker crew was going to be like.
No,
we didn't know. We didn't know what even our secondary was going to be like. So,
yeah, I agree. Marcus, thoughts?
I am proud of you two. I'm shocked and I'm proud of you two. I have heard nothing but pundits all week about how this is an upset game. The Eagles don't look as good. Packers going to come in and cause us problems. It's a revenge game for the beginning of the season. And I was thinking the same thing you guys were. I said, look, we beat them down in Brazil with a defense we didn't know what we had. They didn't know what they had. The players, they were making mistakes left and right. They were young. Those first 4 games were a struggle this season. We did not look good to start the season. It was a little here, a little there. And all of a sudden, after the bye and after Browns, we started to kind of get our defense together. So you've got this defense that looks amazing against an injured offense. Did this team not just lose to the Bears?
At home?
At home?
Yeah.
After losing to the Vikings? Bro, that's not a good look.
No.
Like your last win was Spencer Rattler. Cool. Good job. You beat the Saints. Everybody after us beat the Saints. We started that trend. We beat the Saints. Everyone said, that's a good idea. Let's all beat the Saints.
That's what they did.
You know, and before that was the Seahawks. They haven't looked good. I mean, the Seahawks have not. I mean, yeah, their whole division's been. They haven't looked great. They lost to the Lions, and the Lions are injury riddled. They did beat the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are. They beat the Niners, but then they barely beat the Bears before that. Like I'm looking back at their schedule, it hasn't looked great for the Packers. It's weird. You talk about rushing. Josh Jacobs was integral to my fantasy football team this year. How well did I do there, Mike? Did I win again this year? Was I a back-to-back champion?
No, you're not.
No, I wasn't. But I also, Josh Jacobs having to 700 yards less than Saquon.
Yeah,
there's a difference there. That's a season's worth of stats for a bad running back.
Right.
That's insane.
It is insane.
Like that big of a difference, and it's not like he was down on the list. I mean, he was sixth, fifth.
Yeah.
Saquon's first, Henry second, Robinson third, Taylor fourth, Gibbs fifth. Yeah, Josh Jacobs was sixth. There's a 700-yard difference between first and sixth.
Yeah,
that's nutty.
Well, what's also nutty is that Derrick Henry ran for 1,900 yards, and it's the first time ever anyone has ran for that much yards and didn't win the rushing title.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. So, like, I don't know. I've talked to some people. One of my buddies was very anti-playing the Packers. He did not want to play the Packers. Other people saying I'm sitting there looking at the schedule. First off, every game this first week for the playoffs excites me. There's not a game where I'm like, oh, that's dog.
Yeah, they're all going to be good.
Chargers, Texans, good. Steelers, Ravens, great. Broncos, Bills could actually be better than we expect. Packers, Eagles might be the most boring of the group, honestly. Buccaneers, Commanders, good. Vikings, Rams, good. I'm not kidding you.
The only thing I'm not liking about this week's lineup is they're putting that one game on Monday night. It's
agreed.
Why can't we have the typical 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday games? Yeah, I know it's Monday. It's fucked up.
I think there's also going to be 2 games now on Monday, right? Because of the LA Fires, or is that the LA game?
The LA game is Monday. It's just going to be in Arizona.
It's going to be in Arizona now.
Yeah. Chargers are in Texas, so there's no concern there. So it's Chargers, Texans tomorrow, Steelers, Ravens tomorrow night, then Broncos, Bills to start us off Sunday morning, and then Eagles, Packers Sunday afternoon. Then, of course, Commanders, Bucks to finish up the night, and then Vikings, Rams.
It's a pretty good lineup.
Monday. It's a great lineup.
I like the lineup.
I'm not kidding, though, and call me biased. I honestly think that we're going to smack the Packers. I don't think they're ready for this game at all. I think you're right. They're not. They've had a run of games where they lost to Vikings. They lost to the Bears at home. That's not a good look. And then especially then Jordan Love getting hurt. They're not coming in here in full strength, which Packers fans will say, oh, we weren't at full strength, we couldn't beat you. But you're at full strength week 1, you're still going to beat us. So there's that argument too against rookies in their first game.
Yeah, first game and everything. And so it could come down to the Eagles are going to be the first team ever to beat a team on 2 different continents.
Yeah, in 1 year.
Oh wow!
In 1 year.
Hey, you know what? Why don't we just have the Super Bowl on a 3rd continent, and Packers just get a bye, and they get to play there as well, and we'll beat them 3 times.
We have to be an AFC team, won't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, does the AFC look good? Honestly,
I mean, depends.
Besides the Bills, is there any team in the AFC that looks good? Be honest with yourself.
I think the Bills are going to lose. Actually,
I think so too. But I mean, if you were going to say that, you can't say the Chiefs look good.
No.
I saw a stat earlier. It was list of teams who have gone a full season not scoring over 30 points, and the best ranked team besides the Chiefs was a 4-12 Patriots team. Uh-huh. And someone was like, don't ever tell me that Brady got carried again.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes got carried.
Yeah. Well, that's funny you say that because I heard a stat and I meant to write it down and I forgot to write it down. There was a stat that compared oh man, what was it? It was the Chiefs. I forget what the stat was, but it was comparing the Chiefs and the 49ers, and the 49ers have more than the Chiefs, and that you see the difference with their records. So
Well,
Yeah.
like the Chiefs didn't even score over 30 points at all this year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Right.
And there's 4 teams, and the other 3 teams that didn't do it were like 3-13, 3-14. Like they were terrible.
Yeah.
Well, here's something for you. If you were to play, all right, 2 weeks ago, right? The Giants won like 45 something, right?
Yeah, against the Colts.
Against the Colts. Oh wait, tell me that is. Okay, perfect. So 45-33 against the Colts. And a week or two before that, the Broncos played the Colts, beat them 31-13. So if you played the Broncos and the Giants, you could argue that it might. I mean, I think the Broncos get the needle, but I would say that's probably not too far off of a game, right?
Right.
Right.
So when we played the Giants with our backups, did we not win that game pretty nicely? 2013, not bad, not bad, right?
Yeah,
And
I see where you're going here.
When the Broncos played the Chiefs backups, they blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
So
Who is that quarterback for the Chiefs?
Oh, you mean Carl Wentz?
Carl Wentz. Yeah.
From whence he came, and there he go.
Wow. I was shocked. They scored 0 points.
Nothing.
How are you shocked? It was Carl Wentz.
Well, my point is, like, with their defense, because everyone's talking about how good the Chiefs' defense is, that's what's keeping them in the games. If they lose a single player and their backups come in, they let up 38 points. Bo Nix looked amazing against them.
Yo.
Yeah.
When's the last time a Broncos quarterback looked good against the Chiefs?
Bo Nix looks like Drew Brees out there, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm serious. Like, I was watching that game. I'm like, yo, this kid reminds me of Drew Brees.
Bro, he went 26 for 29.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns.
They needed that win for a playoff. They made the playoffs because of that game.
They could have easily benched him at the half, my guy. I mean, they were up 24-0 at half. And they're like, no, you stay out there, kid.
Yeah. Well, maybe they did it because, in case there was a tie somewhere, they needed to, score some extra points in there.
I guess.
They lit up 0 points. That helped.
Yeah.
That helped a lot. That helped a lot.
I'm saying he looked gross. He even, what's funny? How many times I argued that if your quarterback's your leading rusher, you're going to lose, right?
Yeah.
Bo Nix led them in rushing too.
Yeah. Another thing, I know last week we talked about how, how Carson Wentz is going to be the Sam Darnold of this year. Sam Darnold did not look good against the Lions. They didn't score any red zone touchdowns. They did not look good.
He looked like that Jets quarterback where he was seeing ghosts.
He was a Jets quarterback that game.
Yeah, he was overthrowing people. He just got the yips, man. He was in the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Everyone knew the Lions are good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy is that Jared Goff again threw more touchdowns than passes and still won a game.
Yeah.
The Lions, even injured, are not a team to be taken lightly.
Right.
I still think we could beat them, but they have that extra bye week to get some people healthy.
Yeah. Well, let's do our wild card weekend picks here.
I'm down for that. Okay.
Let's start with.
Are we doing a team picks or individual?
What do you mean?
Like, are we all agreeing on each one, or is it going to be your picks, his picks, my picks?
What do you want to do? You want to do?
I think we should each our own.
We could do each our own. We could do that.
Yeah,
that's fine. Let me just write it down.
Why don't we start with the first game of the week,
which is
Chargers Texans.
Miguel.
Well, because I've had C.J. Stroud on one of my fantasy teams his last couple of weeks, and he probably garnered like maybe 20 points in those last couple of weeks. I'm gonna lean Chargers on that one.
Chargers, yes.
Going for the upset.
Yeah, I too say Chargers.
Looks like we are 3 for 3 on that one, my guys.
Yeah,
There's something about for me. Harbaugh has he's kind of getting the defense together, and while Nico Collins is a star, Ladd McConkey is not that level, but Ladd McConkey knows how to mesh with some defenses.
Yeah,
and Herbert's going to put that ball where he needs to.
I agree. What's the next game after that?
Next game after that is the Steelers-Ravens Saturday night on Prime.
That should be. Oh, it's going to be on Prime that night.
It is on Prime.
Okay.
Damn it! It's on Prime.
Yes, sir.
What about you? You go with this one, Mark? You go first here.
Ooh.
Ravens, man. Steelers are beat up. I don't trust Russell Wilson. Lamar Jackson's looking at another MVP season.
They're 9.5-point dogs, man.
The Ravens are?
The Steelers.
Steelers.
Oh, yeah. Steelers are not winning that game.
No.
Miguel, are you on the same boat with this one?
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Baltimore on this one.
I
was actually hearing that if Pittsburgh loses this game, they're probably going to get rid of Tomlin, and I think Chicago is interested in bringing him in.
That's not a bad. He's never lost. He's never had a losing season. But I guess
but he's never won.
He's never had a losing season. And he's won a Super Bowl too, right, Tomlin?
I think when he first started with the players he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that first season with Roethlisberger. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, but that would be interesting to see him go to Chicago and see what he could do there, and bring Justin Fields back with him.
Yeah,
it'd be crazy.
He's gonna end up in one of the New York teams,
right?
All right, they won as a head coach. He won Super Bowl champion. I'm 43, 50, 43. Is that what that number is?
He won the Super Bowl with
against the Cardinals. Oh, what a team! What a team to beat.
Yeah, it was a Kurt Warner team.
Yes, Gerald. That was.
That's true. I remember that actually. Now I think about it, because then that was the Madden that covered that next year. Was Larry Fitzgerald and Hairman.
Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, Polamalu. Yeah, long curly hair.
Yeah. Steelers defense. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What was the other wide receiver on that Cardinals team besides Fitzgerald? It was another dude. I used to love him too. Can't remember his name.
I want to say Ricky Prohl, but that's years.
Nah, because this guy reminded me of what Debo looks like now.
Oh,
trash?
No, well, yeah.
Because Debo looks like trash right now.
Oh, this is because his quarterback looks like trash too. But
all right, Mark, what's the next one?
All right, next one is Sunday, 1:00. Broncos at the Bills.
This is I'm going to go with the Bills here. Broncos, young team. Bills, cold weather, their stadium. They're going to be good to go. Bills.
All right. Now, I mean, they're 8.5-point dogs, but I'm going to ride the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be like OJ and ride the Broncos.
Slow white Bronco.
Slow white Bronco.
That was a joke. What do you call a slow white Bronco? John Elway.
Nice.
You know what? There's a lot of good Broncos jokes right now.
Okay.
Maybe Josh Allen does what Josh Allen does best and loses a big game.
Uh-oh.
Let's go Broncos.
Wow.
Broncos.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I'm going to skip over to the next game.
Yep, that will be our last one.
Bring us back to the night game. Commanders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh.
I'm just watching a stat here on the NFL Live, and it says Jalen Daniels has been blitzed 46% of the time that he's dropped back for a pass.
Yeah, and it's going to continue because that's what Tampa Bay does.
Right.
They blitz and they blitz and they blitz.
And he was 17 for 24, 184 in week 1 with 88 rushing yards in a loss to the Broncos. So another week 1 rematch.
You mean the Buccaneers?
Buccaneers.
Against the Buccaneers, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, no, you said the Broncos.
Oh, did I? My bad.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with Washington because I don't want to face the Bucks if any possible. So, and I want a rematch. I want to just be able to put Washington in their place. So, I'm going to go with Washington.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I feel what you're saying, Mike.
Yeah.
I want the Commanders to win. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I think the Buccaneers are the better team here.
I concur with that. I'm also going Buccaneers.
Baker Mayfield's going to go probably ape shit because of he's missing that snub from the Pro Bowl.
Exactly.
He gets snubbed a lot, and I think he's got to a point now where he actually enjoys it. I think he looks forward to being looked down upon, so he can prove you wrong. And I think Jaden Daniels is riding a high, and I don't think it's a good high.
Yeah.
I think it's an overconfident we beat a Eagles team when they fell apart high, and I don't think it's going to work out too well for him against that Buccaneers team.
It's wild is that Baker Mayfield has 2 division titles in the last, say 20 years. And
Yeah.
Browns have 0.
Well, I saw a thing where it was like 2 years ago, I think it was. Like this time 2 years ago, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield were on the same team as backups. They both sucked. And now it's like both of them are in the playoffs, and Chicago and the Browns, they're both and the Browns and the Jets are all trash.
Well, yeah, they had the Panthers or Browns had Baker Mayfield running scout squad. He was playing defensive line. Like he was that down and out that he was that, and now look at him now. Pretty cool.
Sometimes you need that humbleness when you come to the NFL. I mean, look at Johnny Manziel, right? Johnny Manziel didn't take that route when he's out of the NFL quickly. Now, Baker comes in. I do miss those commercials with Baker Mayfield living in the Cleveland Browns stadium, though.
The State Farm. Is it State Farm? I think it was a State Farm commercial.
I used to love those commercials.
Yeah. That's crazy. Those were good commercials. I think it was great, and I think he's handled himself well in the situation that he has.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
The Buccaneers would be stupid to let him go.
I'm going to also make a point out about the Buccaneers team.
Go ahead.
They have this young running back that got slept on at the draft. He has the most forced missed tackles in the league.
Yeah.
And he is the, let's see, where is he? He's like
talking about Ducky Irving.
About Ducky Irving. And that man also had more on average 50 less carries than almost anyone else around him running back wise. And that man was up there with over 1,100 rushing yards. So it's and he had split carries. He was sharing the load. He had 3 carries for 40 yards, which put him in like top 4 in that category. Man's something to be considered. Yeah, that's a confusing thing to keep an eye out for. On top of the fact you got to understand you got Mike Evans over the top, and Baker Mayfield's going to make stuff happen. It should be an interesting team.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike Evans, who broke Jerry Rice's record, right?
1,000. Yeah, another 1,000 yards. He sure Hall of Famer. Now,
by a long shot.
They had to get him those yards at the end of the game. They really were trying to get him those yards.
Well, he said he didn't care. Baker Mayfield said he cared.
Yeah, he cared. So he got it. He needed like 80 yards. He ended up getting 83 yards. He earned, I think it was I want to say $3 million.
No, it was a $300,000.
$300,000.
It was funny too, because I remember watching a thing on a sport bet thing, and they were like a week ago, and it was like, hey, take the over on Evans' yards, because it was like 78 yards was the over under for him. They're like, they're gonna feed him the ball because he wants to break that record. I couldn't find it as a bettable over on any sports book. They moved that.
Yeah, what I did, I did the whole thing because I was watching all those guys. They needed these things to be
for the bonuses.
Hit.
Yeah,
and I did a whole parlay on it. I did a parlay of 80 plus yards for Mike Evans, 80 plus receiving yards for Cortland Sutton, 200 yards for Geno Smith, and the Seahawks to win, because Geno would have needed 10 wins to get a bonus, and they all hit, all of them.
There you go.
That was pretty good parlay.
I'll say my cousin actually put on Tanner McKee to have like 180 passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he hit with that, of course. He was pretty excited.
Yeah. I also lost out on $7,000 because Carson Wentz didn't score a fucking touchdown. If they had beaten the Broncos, I would have made, because I got every single one right except for the fact that
you took the Chiefs to beat the Broncos with backups.
Yeah.
How high were you when you made that bet?
Come on, Chiefs. They're supposed to be a really great team here.
All right, I don't know who I'm talking to anymore. This clearly isn't the Mike that knows football, because like we all talked all year about how they're a one possession game against every team they've ever beat this week or this whole season. They go in with backups. You thought they were going to win? You thought Carson Wentz was going to win?
Yeah,
Carl Wentz.
Bro, you must have.
Carson Wentz died when he dislocated his knee in that game.
So he died.
Bro, what did you like go? You're like, hey, let's go up to Woodstock to make these bets, because man, you must have out of your mind to think that was going to happen. You could have bet the other way and added the parlay, and it might not have been $7 grand, but you still would have made money.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been as much though.
Okay, is it better than zero?
Yeah, it's better than zero.
Okay, so I stand by my bet.
All right, Eagles, Packers. Let's break it down. Let's do our predictions here. Mark, you go first.
Gentlemen, ladies, this is going to be a game in which the commentators are kind of on their heels. Bless you, Miguel.
Thank you. Bless you.
Because they're going to say, what do we keep talking about when the Eagles are up and they're 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 up? Bless you, Miguel. That's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be blessing Miguel, because the Eagles, man, I'm sorry, Packers fans. Bless you, Miguel. This ain't your week, man. This ain't your week. Bro, we're going in here. Saquon is coming off fresh. Got them fresh legs like Miguel sneezes. All right. AJ Brown's coming in red to go. Devontae Smith wants to put some numbers up. That O line's looking hungry. That D line's looking hungrier. Our linebackers are looking good. Our secondary's looking good. Who's injured on this squad? Like injured. Think about this. The last time the Eagles looked great, Super Bowl run, everyone's like, how are the Eagles not injured? Nobody's injured on the Eagles squad. That's why it looks so good.
All 22 starters were healthy.
Right.
So who's going in injured this week? Besides Miguel with his sneezes. Just throw out his back in a second.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's hurt. Like, people are hurt. Everyone's beat up, but nobody's like torn ACL, broken leg, broken thumb. Like, nobody's like written off like, hey, you're not playing, period.
Right. Well,
nobody's at that point.
The Kobe Dean, we got to look out for him. He did something with his elbow or something, but
he was still participating in practice.
Yeah.
Everyone participated in practice. They're all playing this week.
Yeah. I don't think anything's going to stop them from playing.
Didn't the Bucks used to have a linebacker that only had one hand? So he'll be good.
Yeah, they've had that happen.
True. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm looking at this game. I'm gonna be watching. I'm excited. I'm excited because I think we're going to dominate. I think the rest of the NFL is going to look at the scores and go, huh? Like, this ain't the Broncos Chiefs last game of the season. Why is the score so crazy?
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Carl Wentz is going to play.
It's going to feel that way. It's going to be George. It's going to be Joseph Levette who's going to be playing.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Score? Want to give us a score?
Oh, you want to score now?
Oh, yeah. Give me a score, Mark. Give me a score.
42-6.
Wow.
Damn.
I told you.
Wow.
We're here to murder the Packers. We're here to murder the Packers.
Wow.
We are at home, and it probably, I mean, wait, will we have another home game in the next round, or would it be an away game?
Home. It'll be home.
Back-to-back homes. The only reason we won't play home is if us and the Lions run the table. They show them the championship.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Lions, it's home games all the way through.
Unless, if they lose one, then it's all home coming to Philly.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. I'm next.
Go for it, Miguel.
All right. Yeah. Everything Mark said. I feel like this team is going to be ready. This defense is ready to get after the ball. And the one difference that I think will stand out versus week one, is like I said earlier, the turf is different. We're playing at the link. It's going to be cold outside. It's not going to be hot. It's not going to be a soggy field. It's going to be a frozen field. The frozen tundra of Lincoln Financial Field. This crowd is going to be hot. There's going to be an extra factor that the Packers didn't experience in that first game. And you know what? I was thinking about a score while Mark was talking, and I'm looking behind me. The jerseys here, and I'm thinking 62-20. I don't know why
Wow.
it's lining up that way, but this is what I feel.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Wow. Okay, Miguel, like all that sneezing might have just
the Mucinex might have, and the Vicks, because I got Vicks on my chest and my nose, so
have to
maybe that is causing this crazy 62-20 pick here, but I'm gonna roll with it.
I'll take it. 62-20, Miguel. Eagles victory. I think we're all on the same page here. Eagles are going to be the first team ever to defeat a team in the same season on two different continents. I think the Eagles will put up some early points, and then there will be some garbage points at the end of the game. I'm not leaning towards a 42 or a 62 point game. I'm thinking 26-13.
Okay.
A modest game. A modest game. Jalen Hurts is, could show some, some fatigue, some lethargic from being out a couple of weeks. I'm going with that storyline. But I don't think the Eagles will not be down during this game. They're going to be up. They won't be trailing at all during this game. 26-13 victory, Eagles. Moving on.
We agree it's going to be a ground game, right?
It's going to be a ground game by a long shot, because these two teams are the ones that run the ball the most and pass the least.
Yeah. And last week, if I remember correctly, we had this really cool guy, Saquon Barkley. He was resting, right? He didn't.
Oh yeah.
Much.
He's going to be fresh.
Yeah, you know who's not going to be as fresh?
Josh Jacobs,
who had to run and lose last week. This
is also Saquon. This is the most Saquon had ever carried the ball in his career, and he says he's ready to go. Like, he's not tired or anything.
It's almost like you invest in an O-line and your running backs do good things.
Right, it's
crazy.
When he's not getting hit all the time.
Jerry Henry was saying something in the middle of the season about that too, where he was like, "Hey, when the line's working, I mean, that's what helped him when he was with the Titans to start. They had a good O-line for a while." Yeah. You look back at his first couple of years there, they had a good O-line. And so he stayed upright. He became King Henry.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, kind of fell off. Well, he goes to Baltimore. They have a pretty good O-line. He stays healthy. He gets yards. Saquon, same way. At the Giants, wasting 6 years of his life behind one of the worst O-lines in the league.
Yeah.
He comes here. I mean, you think about it, past couple of years, minus Swift last year, when's the last time we had a running back you were like, oh, this guy's him?
Charlie Gardner had a really great game one time against the 49ers.
Okay.
And I thought Charlie Gardner was going to be the guy.
My guy.
But my guy was Brian Westbrook. He was the
and
guy.
Yet, in my life, how many years have the Eagles been bottom seed? Like twice?
Right. Yeah, Racy. It's
okay. Yeah. We've had O-lines because of Stoutland. We've had mediocre backs, and we've always had a good rushing attack.
Yeah,
I would say the last back we had that was actually something to keep up was like, LeGarrette Blount was a pretty good back. But again, he's a big bruisey. But Jay Ajayi came in that year, helped us out behind a big O-line. He did the job.
Thank you to Andy Reid, because he instilled that culture.
Yeah. I'll give you credit there. Thank you, Stoutland, for staying around. Thank you through every coach for never letting go of him.
Like, Stoutland came in with a friend of yours. Didn't he come in with a friend of yours? Not with Andy Reid.
Oh, maybe he did. You're right. Yeah, what a genius signing again. Just saying. Just saying. Look, and I'm willing to talk about it this week real quick. I just want to make a mention out there. Anyone who listens to this podcast may know that I like college football. Particularly, I'm a big fan of the Oregon Ducks. Absolutely love college football.
There you go.
Big fan of the Oregon Ducks. So at the time, obviously, was a big fan of Chip Kelly because he led the Ducks to only 6 losses in his entire career there. Had great seasons with us. Came to Philadelphia. Super excited about the program he was bringing here. Our team didn't buy into it. Yada yada yada. Years down the road. Now Chip Kelly.
He yada yada. He yada yada it.
Hey. We'll talk about that later.
Go back and listen to our Chip Kelly episode. That's all.
So Chip Kelly moves on and back into college, and after some really good seasons at UCLA, he moves to Ohio State. Now, again, I love college football. I hate Ohio State. I hate Ohio State as much as you hate Dallas. And if you don't hate Dallas, you're wrong. So I am seething right now in my head, thinking of the fact that if Texas doesn't win tomorrow, Ohio State's most likely going to win the national championship. And I hate that as much as I hate Dallas, even coming close to the playoffs. I hate it.
Right.
However, I have to admit, the dismantling of Oregon's defense that was phenomenal all year came with Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator. He made the adjustments. He saw what we did. And God damn it, that man knows how to run an offense. I would say if he ever makes it back to the NFL, don't let him be head coach. He wants to do things his way. You're not going to do it his way. Let him be offensive coordinator, because that man draws up offenses that I hate to see in anywhere. I'm literally strangling the cord to my microphone while I'm talking about it. Okay, I can't stand it because of the coach that led one of my favorite team to multiple victories, came this close to winning it all. Came to my favorite team in the world, in the Eagles, just to kind of build the team we needed to win it all, but wasn't there for it. And then now he's hurting me. He's hurting my soul.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's because of things like the health and programming that he instilled on his teams. It's like the signing of people like Jeff Stoutland. He does make good decisions, even if we as Philadelphians don't like to admit it. He brought in the right players. He brought in the right guys. He just wasn't the right one to lead it.
Right.
He did the same thing at Oregon. He's doing the same thing now at Ohio State.
Speaking of Jeff Stoutland, you guys, did you watch? It's called Late Night with Jason Kelsey. Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. I didn't watch last night's episode yet, or tonight.
It'll be tomorrow. It'll be Friday. It's on Fridays.
Okay.
It was interesting to say the least. They did have Jeff Stoutland on. He I don't think he's used to talking to a large crowd or even being on TV. He was kind of stuttering or trying to figure out what he wanted to talk about. I don't think the show was all that great.
It felt too Philly heavy. I know they recorded in Philly, but
you didn't transfer
too heavy in Philly. I don't know.
Well, they even said in the beginning of that wasn't going to be based about Philly, but it sure did. You had Charles Barkley and Brian Baldinger and Little Dicky. They're all from Philly. You should have gotten somebody who wasn't from Philly in that first episode, but
that's kind of hard to do.
I would have brought Kevin Hart out there since he's from Philly, but
he'll be on. I'm sure. Who knows? They recorded the first 2 episodes 2 weeks ago, and so they'll start recording, I guess, 2 coming up. But they have Kylie Kelsey as the I guess the MC, but she barely spoke a word. I don't know. I don't know if I'm out on Kelsey having his own TV show.
Let's give it a moment. Let them find their way first, because they got to work out the kinks. They probably have these great ideas that thought they were going to translate into television.
Yeah,
and it really the first episode that I watched didn't really I watched it, but I wasn't really too entertained by it.
Were you not entertained by the chugging of beer?
I mean, I chug beer all the time. It's not really impressive.
I'll say I didn't watch it. I will say I think one of the big things is, and I think you'll see it with a few different people in the world, is that he saw success obviously in the NFL, and then he saw more success than people expected in the podcasting. Well, podcasting is great because you kind of have, when you're doing your own, you kind of have control of what you say, how you say it, with who you're talking to. I think when you move to a TV show, and it's one that I've heard, because I'll listen to a lot of different podcasters. I listen to Joe Rogan. He mentions himself all the time when he talks about his former line of work when he was with X Factor, or not Fear Factor and all that. Fear Factor. Because like when you're working in that industry, you don't have the control. Like if they say, "Hey, we're doing this today," that's what you're doing. And if you're not comfortable with it, you either get over that or you don't have a job.
Right.
And so like right now, they're pretty much kind of putting Kelsey in a box. I mean, you saw him his first time on Monday Night Football. You know, he wasn't dressed appropriately. People made points about this and that, and the arguments. It was like, bro, man, like he's just trying to do him, and not everyone. Outside of Philly, not everyone loves him for being who he is the way we do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he could run for mayor and win tomorrow in Philly. And he's not Philly. You know, it's not the same way in the rest of the country. So.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of compare it to when Jimmy Kimmel first started, because he was not a late night guy, even though he was on multiple different shows. You know, he had the
Man Show.
The Man Show. He had When Ben Stein's Money. He had the Crank Yankers Show.
So I don't know any of those at all. I only know him as Jimmy Kimmel Live.
No, really?
Why? You don't really?
I've never watched any of those shows you just mentioned.
Wow.
Single one.
No. Well, they were all good shows.
Just died inside.
When when he made the move to late night, and you know, at that time when he joined, Jay Leno was still in there, David Letterman was still there, so you know, it was an option for the younger crowd to turn to someone younger.
Yeah,
and
I enjoy Jimmy Kimmel.
It wasn't what it is now. I really enjoy. Like, I never miss Jimmy monologue. Like, if I miss it, I always catch it on YouTube.
Yep.
But at those first couple of seasons where it was I couldn't take it. It was intolerable. And then they found their footing. So I'm gonna allow Jason and his.
He's only signed on to do 4 episodes of this.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was that little.
Yeah, it's just 4 episodes.
It's probably a test run, really.
It's a test. You know, they're trying to mix in old NFL films, like footage and like ideas, in a new twist. I get it. You know, the commentary they wanted to do, like they tried to do like commentary over plays, like, you know, Little Dicky, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He had no idea what he was talking about.
No, because they were trying to make the pre-written ad libs to be funny about themselves, and it just didn't land.
It didn't land.
That's also not Little Dicky's style either. I mean, I didn't watch it, but like,
go watch it.
Listen to Little Dicky.
It's worth watching.
I've seen his show. His show, it's based around stupid humor and being out of the box.
Yeah.
If you're going to be on a show like that, you probably don't have that same freedom.
Yeah. What I did like listening to is Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley had some good things to say. I really do like listening to Charles Barkley. He's got a lot of insight, I would say. But that was the best part I walked away from, is Charles Barkley.
Basketball.
Charles Barkley is always comical, no matter what.
Yeah.
I just get tired of I watch Charles in pretty much anything that I can catch him on, right? But he always kind of tells the same stories. That's what I'm getting tired of.
And I took that personally.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the next one's going to be on this Friday. I don't know any of the guests or anything, but it should be. You know, we'll see. Hopefully, it grows.
Right?
And
Tomorrow night.
What'd you say? Yeah. Tomorrow night, Friday, 11:30 at night. Oh no, I'm sorry, 1:30
in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah, it's late night. They call it late night.
They call it late night.
You say I'm going to watch the Cotton Bowl. I'm gonna go to bed.
I watch it on YouTube.
Then I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 and take my daughter to a hockey game in the morning. So I'm not staying up till 1 to watch some damn late night show.
Yeah, no, I caught it on. It was on Hulu. I caught it on Hulu.
I watched this on it goes directly to his YouTube channel after it's over. So that's what I watch. All right, gentlemen.
I'm getting tired here, boys, because the Eagles are. I'm just sitting there. I know that if I fall asleep, I'm a little bit closer to the Eagles game.
Yeah, so let's end here. Another great talk with you guys. Exciting about this game. Yeah, Penn State just lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah, James Franklin can't win any big game ever because he's absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, in this year's worth of coach of the year, but bad.
Yeah.
He's second place, only behind Dan Lanning for that absolutely miserable performance last week. That makes me want to strangle this court. Absolutely no excuses for the two of them. I mean, what kills me is how good Penn State looked when they were playing properly. And it's like, how do you not just keep that up? Like you have the players. Why do you break away from what works? Because James Franklin, you don't know how to actually run a team. Absolutely dog.
On that note,
you know how
on
we
that
do.
note,
You know how we do. EAGLES.
Eagles.
Oh, birds. Hey, Mike, it's playoff time, man. Let's hit some Mortal Kombat, bro, because it's time to fight.